Good morning, it's Mike Romai for Beaver County Radio, and we are live at the Fez in Hopewell. This is the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce Luncheon with the candidates. The Beaver County Chamber of Commerce has put together this outing so that the candidates would come together. There are candidates here from all different row offices, the incumbents as well as the challengers. We've got a full slate of events, and on Beaver County Radio, we're going to talk with some of those folks. But throughout the noon hour, we are going to be bringing you live on Facebook and live on the radio the candidates as they talk. This is not a debate-style forum. What it is they're set up on the podium here at the Fez, a long banquet table in which they'll be sitting. The moderator of the event is Harry Kunzelman. Harry Kunzelman is an attorney in Beaver County, and he is with a very prestigious law firm. Harry is going to be the moderator of the event, and we have seen a number of the candidates here already from the row offices, and a lot of new faces, maybe not familiar with the political end of things here in Beaver County, but they are challenging the incumbents, so we'll get a chance to meet them, and it's all here. We're all here today because of the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce and the executive president of the chamber. What is your exact title? I want to say president. CEO, executive president.
It's just president, but you can call me my lady.
Okay. We said earlier it's the man in black and the lady in red. Donna Lee Seipel is the president of the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Thank you so much for having me speak with you and for being here today. We really appreciate the partnership with WVP and WMBA. So.
We like to work with you to keep the county residents informed about what's happening, especially with the election less than a month away and the candidates coming together here at your invitation. And what is this all about? I mentioned that it's not a debate. Basically, we're going to get to know the candidates.
Absolutely. So the candidates have been presented with 3 questions to answer. For the incumbents, a little bit slightly different, and then for the folks that are running against them, to be able to talk about who they are and why they're doing what they're doing and wanting this position, what improvements they can bring, and what they're proud of as far as their accomplishments.
Did they get to choose the questions?
Nope. We provided the questions to each of them. So in the 3 minutes that they'll have to answer those questions, we look forward to them staying on track with that.
And Harry Kunzelman is the moderator.
He is. Harry is a great guy in Beaver County. He's so well known and respected. Harry, I see him coming in right now. Harry is the new chair of the board for CCBC, of the trustee board there. He's the solicitor for the chamber through his firm SMGG, which is headquartered in the same office where we're located in downtown Beaver.
Donna Lee, you and I, as well as Cheryl King from Aliquippa, are going to be moderators of a debate that's coming up on Beaver County Radio on November 3rd.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to being together then as well. But this will be a debate format at that time with the county commissioner candidates.
Yes, that should be quite a day with all 4 of them. So that I know we're preparing the questions for them, and it will be a different kind of format for sure. So we'll look forward to hearing what they have to say and say about each other a little bit there.
Yeah. Well, this is an attempt to get the listeners and your members and the population as a whole in Beaver County to get more interested in the voting process with their elected officials. Because I don't know if you had a difficult time getting the candidates to come out here today to this type of a forum, or some of them weren't interested at this time.
You know, that's a great question, and everyone was interested. We, from both parties, there are 20 candidates. The only ones that haven't been able to make it, I believe there was one that isn't able to make it, Sandra Gill, and it was because of some other issues, extraneous things that she didn't have, the ability to come. Everybody's been very open to coming. They're looking forward to having this platform of being live, with your program. That's fantastic, and they've been great to work with, and they're happy to have the chance to have the platform to speak about themselves in this way.
What is the Chamber's interest in this? Why have it? Why support or pull all this together?
Sure. Well, the Chamber of Commerce is very active in advocacy for our members and for the community. We have a very active Government Affairs Committee meeting that meets once a month, usually the second Friday from 8 until 9 at CCBC or via Zoom. If you're interested, if folks are interested in coming to that, they're welcome to do so. We cover 5 main priorities every year. We're about to renew those, and our elected officials here are part of that process of activating, of making that happen for our counties. So it's very important that we work closely with our elected officials. They come to our celebrate the ribbon cuttings for our new businesses. Tad, up at
East Rochester Shop and Save. The grand reopening
That's
of
awesome.
the facility. Yeah, so the people who are watching us live on Facebook, they will be able to see the candidates on the dais up there.
Yes.
It's a long banquet table. I see how they're seated, and you've got a lot of the candidates and the incumbents as well as the candidates sitting side by side. How are you going to keep them separated? Do you expect any fireworks here at this event today?
No, I think people will be respectful.
Yeah.
They might be passionate about their position and why they want to earn the vote of the citizens of Beaver County, but I think they'll be respectful.
I just want to make a
There's
quick
Molly over
announcement.
there
Please
making an
make
announcement.
Sure that you find your lunch over here to the tables.
Okay.
You can continue networking
What's for lunch?
and eating your lunch, but we will start the program.
box
I
lunch
didn't
over
really
there.
look. Box lunch. I know. I saw green things and
Yeah.
maybe a sandwich.
And Harry Kunzelman, as far as his role here today, 3 minutes you said to answer.
Yes.
Questions.
So each candidate will be timed. We'll be giving them a 1-minute warning, and then as we get closer to that, then we're going to, they're going to be asked to pass the mic along and be respectful of the time so that we can move the program along and everybody gets a fair shake. So.
And Harry's going to shut him down. He's going to bang the gavel.
He has actually a very long cane. Yeah. He's just going to pull him
Yank
out,
him off
so,
the stage. All right. Donna Lee Seipel, thank you. I know you've got a lot of people to shake hands with and talk here this morning as we get ready for the debate, which should start, promptly at noon?
Yep.
Okay.
At noon.
Very good.
All right,
Thank you
thanks.
for inviting us.
Thanks for being here. Really
Looking
appreciate
forward to it. Thank you very much. Donna Lee Seipel is the president of the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce, and they have their candidates here. It's really an impressive turnout as far as the candidates are concerned, that they would come out, that so many of the candidates, the incumbents, are challenged. They do have challengers out there. And as I can see the dais behind me, I can see the names. And come here, Tracy. No. Where are you going? Where are you going with I need a fingernail file. Is that what you have there? I see. I'm looking at Yeah, I have. Yeah, my fingernails are splitting here. Now, that's a throwback, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Tracy
yes, it is.
Patton.
Everyone loves the fingernail file.
Yeah, I can remember days, and you probably too as well, from your dad, where you used to have an office on Main Street, and you'd go in and you'd get a comb with the candidate's name on it, a nail file.
Yes. He was the Main Street News on Pennsylvania Avenue in Monaca.
I know that.
And
Wonderful
donuts
guy,
and milk. The donuts used to come from a bakery in Ambridge. I'm trying to remember the name, but you caught me off guard.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Herman's Bakery. There you go. Yes, it came to my mind.
Yeah.
And yes, did a lot of talking there, meeting the people. It was always a great time down there.
Tracy Annaline Patton running as an incumbent, Register of Wills. Do you get tired of this?
Yes. But I love meeting the new people. I love explaining what our office does. We do have a dual office when I'm in. It is the Register of Wills and Clerk of the Orphans Court. We do guardianships. We do adoptions. We take care of probating wills when they need to be probated for the estates. We do marriage license. So we do a lot of different things. I love to explain to the people what we do there, so it's great to come and be able to talk to everyone.
Good. Now, do you ever tire and do you ever wonder why you're being challenged? Because the Register of Wills office, it's not a visible one. You're not out there like the commissioners or the district attorney. So it's like, okay, so what does Tracy Annaline do? And you tell them. But somebody who wants to take the position from you,
Well, I guess it's, sometimes people think that there's always a reason to have a choice, and that's absolutely their reasoning, and that's fine. I feel that I am doing a good job. I've heard that from numerous attorneys and people out on the road, and I am appreciative. I do my job 8:30 to 4:30, and then after, I help in the community, I volunteer, and I do feel that I do my job well. So I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So I feel that I can explain it. Yes.
Yeah. When you have an opponent, you got to spend money.
Yes, and that's
run the
okay.
Race.
That's part of it. That's part of that. Unfortunately, that's part of the job, and I did choose to do it. But I love to serve the community. I love to be out there, and I enjoy my work.
Yeah. What are you proudest of? What are you proudest of in your office?
Oh, proud of my staff. I'm proud of, we're getting the office up to the times with doing all of our microfilm, microfiche into getting it all computerized, put on electronic format. We have moved everything forward. Even with the state, we're doing our Guardian tracking system, the GTS program. I've worked with them. We've moved everything forward to take credit cards now, which we never used to do that. When I came into office, started that. I've been able to keep my office since I've taken office 7 years ago. I've always stayed under budget from what the commissioners had set for us, and my staff is great.
Wonderful.
I'm very proud of it. I think the outreach in our office now too. I've spoke at different functions, senior centers. I go to the bridal fairs to explain what we do. I went to the Historic Society to explain. So coming to things to let people know what we do and what to do when someone passes away, it's great because they don't know exactly what we do.
Tracy Annaline Patton, always good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Register of Wills. As we continue here on Beaver County Radio, it's Mike Romai and the Fez here in Hopewell. Come on over, Nate. Let me hand you a... All right, having a good time here this morning. Nate Bible is with us. He is a candidate for District Attorney in Beaver County. Good morning, Nate.
That's right. Good morning to you. Thank you for having me on.
Last time I saw you, we were walking at the Bags and Blessings event in Beaver.
That's right.
And I said, I never talked to you before, but now is our opportunity.
That's right. How's you doing that?
I made it across the finish line.
Okay, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I didn't place. They never really called me with my time, but
no, I ended up pulling my niece and nephew in a wagon for probably half the race, so we didn't end up placing either.
Well, that's good exercise too.
It was, yeah.
It's
it
all
was.
for a good cause.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, great
Nate,
cause.
You're an attorney.
I am. Yes.
By profession.
Yep.
This is your first run at public office.
That's right. It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been attorney for 12 years. I have my own practice in Beaver County, located in Beaver, inside Huntington Bank, and I'm a part-time public defender as well. So
why'd you decide to throw your hat in the ring for district attorney?
It's a good question, and it's one that I'm also going to answer here today. But I in politics, to be honest with you. I love what I do. I love being an attorney, and I think what really sold me on it, one of my favorite parts about the job is all the clients that we help. And what really sold me on it was, Beaver County can now be my client, and I can help everybody, not just a couple thousand clients that we have, but the 170,000 residents of Beaver County. So, that really it warmed my heart to think about that, and that's really what pushed me into doing this.
Yeah. What are the qualifications that you see are necessary for the position?
So I think you need to have a good background in criminal law. You need to understand the system. You need to be able to handle cases so that your assistants can come to you whenever they have issues. And I think you have to have an open mind and an ability to work well with others. You deal with a lot of different law enforcement agencies. You deal with a lot of different community outreach programs, women's shelters, things like that. And you need to be, again, open-minded. And be able to work well with others, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And I saw recently you got an endorsement, a major endorsement from, is it the police chiefs, the state police?
It was the state police FOP, which covers Beaver, Butler, Lawrence, Mercer, one other county.
Okay.
And on the 19th, I will have the endorsement of the entire State Troopers Association, which covers all of Pennsylvania. So it was a big endorsement for me. I'm really excited
And
about
a lot
that.
of the people in the listening audience say, but what good are endorsements today? What does it mean to you to get those endorsements?
Well, I think what it means to me, and specifically as a Democrat and as a moderate Democrat, but as a Democrat challenger, to have the backing of law enforcement. I know nationally there's some fear with very liberal DAs and that crime doesn't exist anymore in certain cities. So I think for the people of Beaver County to see that the police are supporting me, I'm not one of those candidates that's just going to let crime run rampant. And also to not be supporting the incumbent, the person that they work close with, I think that's huge. So sure, it's not, it doesn't just mean, hey, you get the job because you have this endorsement, but to explain that to people, I think means a lot.
And when they gave you the endorsement, did they explain why?
They did. They actually sent a very nice letter to me that they asked me to disperse to to the voters. I put it on my Facebook page. I think one of the kind of my ideas, I guess, for going forward for the county, to be tough on certain crimes while getting the people that need help, getting them the help, if they're willing to take it. And I think my openness, my open-mindedness, I've never been in law enforcement. I never worked in law enforcement. So to not walk in there thinking I have all the answers and to take advice, to rely on other people's opinions, I think it was a breath of fresh air of somebody that they want to work with.
A lot of people that I've talked to in Beaver County dealing in politics and things like that say that yours is the race to watch. The race between you and David Lozier.
Yeah, I think it's certainly shaping up that way. It's really exciting. Like I said, this is my first go-around. I didn't really know what to expect, but I do think it'll be a good race. It's always difficult to beat an incumbent. Beaver County has been, a little more red probably in the last couple election cycles. So as a Democrat challenger, it's a big uphill battle. But I've worked very, very hard. My committee's done a great job. And, we position ourselves for this to be a really exciting race.
Nate Bible, candidate for district attorney in Beaver County. He's challenging the incumbent. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for talking.
Thank you.
Very good. Nate Bible here on Beaver County Radio. Julian Taylor is joining us now. Morning, Jim.
I'm good. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm
How are
doing
you?
well. Julian is running on the Democratic ballot for Beaver County Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
How's that midget football team?
Oh, man.
You know what? I have to ask you that first because I see you on Facebook and I see you cheering and
I coached Mighty Mites for 4 years. So my son, it's his last year of twerps. He comes to me and says, "Dad, will you come down and coach with me?" So I told him I would. I will never do it again because
it's a thankless job, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but we do it, and we're 7-0, working on 8-0, working on regular season champs. We're pretty good. There's a lot of competition around here. Beaver County has good football coming up. Brighton Township's good. Alquipa's good. Beaver Falls is good. We got a cross-town rivalry with the Beaver County Times, like Moon area.
Yeah.
So we're playing with those guys.
Okay.
They're good.
Yeah.
Football's great around here.
I know.
So I bring it up in every speech almost.
Well, I don't want to take away from why you're here today, and as you're running for office for Beaver County Commissioner. Why?
Well, I'm running. One reason is I think we need just a little bit of change. See things from a different lens. When we're doing that, we make sure that we have a better Beaver County. We have more pathways, and we're making a Beaver County for all. Not just old or young, a Beaver County for every individual here, that we feel safe, we're protected, we have affordable living, and also that we have the services that we need, and we have a balanced budget. Number one job of the commissioner is to balance the budget, but we got to make sure that budget is giving equity to all zip codes.
Okay.
So it's one reason why I'm running.
Julian, you're going to play the spoiler in this race, one way or another.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you heard that and you were aware that you're going to be taking votes. You're trying to get the most votes, obviously, or enough to get the position. But as a candidate, you're going to be taking votes. I don't know whether it's going to be, because it's a general election, people can vote for both parties. Either it's Tony Amadeo or you're going to take votes away from the two Republicans. It's been a Republican-dominated board of commissioners for a few years now. So the Democrats have been in the minority, hoping to change that, obviously, in coming in.
Yes, sir. I will say this. I have no ill will against Jack Manning, no ill will against Danny Kemp. A lot of people don't know this. Me and Danny Kemp went to high school together. We played sports on the same team. I have no problems with him. I have no problems with Tony Amadeo. I feel that if I get a chance, I'll work with any one of those other three with the most dignity, the most honor, the most courage that I am. I was in the military. The military taught me it doesn't matter what color you are, what gender you are, what gender affiliation you are. When you have a job, you get it done, you show some honor, you show some pride, and you get your work done. I'll work with any of those guys to help move Beaver County forward for the 2030 census is coming, and that's what matters when we're talking about federal funds and we're talking about what our county is going to look like. We don't want to fall below into a fifth class county. We don't want that. That cuts money for our social services, cuts money for our elderly people, and then we might have to raise taxes or something to get that back to keep these things funded. So we don't want that.
No, political suicide to even mention taxes,
yes.
Raising taxes. But the incumbents would say, well, we're doing well in Beaver County. We're getting federal money, we're getting state money, we didn't have to raise taxes. When they went back and looked at the property taxes, that wasn't a problem, and so why upset the apple course? Why change course?
I think a little bit that it's a little misleading. Okay. When you say we didn't raise taxes, how can you not raise taxes when we're at the max that the state provides? We're at 25 mils with 1% going to debt. So we're at the max we are, so they can raise taxes. They raised taxes in 2017 and never lowered them. So it was a 19% tax cut. I'm not going to say it was this board of commissioners, but they raised taxes then. We had an influx of money. I think it was about $6.8 million a year. You do that over about that 6 or 7 years, you got an influx of almost $56 million. Where did that money go? Is it being equitably distributed out? So you can't say we didn't raise taxes. Now we're going to say that they did a good job. I won't say that the budget has not been balanced. I don't believe that they are doing ill-will things. I just believe they're not looking at all the pathways we have. I don't believe we're bringing in all the money we can, and I believe that economic development here and infrastructure need to be a focus, and we're focusing on things that aren't true and proper. We have more money in broadband, and our bridges are falling apart. So it's just a different lens of how we look at things. We're not focusing on our youth. Our youth here is the thing that's going to drive our county. We got to worry about the 16, 17, and 18-year-old men and women that are going off to college, and we got to find a way to bring them back. We're in a great place here at the Chamber that we can have entrepreneurs come in and build our places back, build our river towns, build our main streets, focus on our main streets to generate Beaver County economy.
Yeah, Julian Taylor is our guest. He's running for Beaver County Commissioners on the Democratic slate. I've seen over the course of maybe the last 5 or so years more African American candidates coming out. And when they speak, when I hear them speak at events like this, just like you did, say, everyone, we want to have a seat at the table for everyone.
Yes.
Minority community well represented in Beaver County, or are there seats at the table that we need to pay attention to and bring it full circle?
So I'm not, when I say see it from a different lens, that's what I mean. Minority people, and also women, and also people of the LGBTQ community. They need to feel respected here. I mean, that's just on it. We want everybody here. We do. Yep. That's what we do. We want to go to county. So we're well respected in Aliquippa. They got DeJuan Walker. He leads his area, stops. We go to Beaver Falls. We got Dr. Kenya John. It stops. Rochester, you got Mayor Jackson. It stops. We don't have anything past a mayor of a municipality. We don't have anything in the county courthouse. We do have sheriffs. Tony Guy, he has done a great job of getting a lot of African Americans on the sheriff office. I think he's done a great job. I think he focused on that a lot, and I'm proud of that for him. That's a really good job. I see it. When you don't see people in leadership positions, it's like a stigma. I'm not going to say Beaver County is racist or anything of that nature, or we're not focusing on that, but when we're trying to have a seat at that table, you open the lens to people want to go to Penn State Beaver from Aliquippa, but there's no bus route to get them there. That's a lens that we're not seeing. We're not seeing that there's not a bus route that will come from Beaver County to go straight to the building trades place for the unions so they can get a union job. We need more professional jobs here within pharmaceuticals, AI, technology, and healthcare so we can train up our workforce here. But some people can't drive. Some people need help. Some people are living with their grandparents and supporting them. So if we're going to have night school, we need night bus routes. So those are just a different lens. I'm younger. I'll probably be the youngest one up there. So I'm a little younger, and I went to the military. I see things with my son's friends, mothers, and daughters, and I find out their struggles of what they're dealing with. A lot of them are working 2, 3, 4 jobs just to stay afloat. We got to find professional jobs here.
Bottom line, how do you get out those voters? As is always the case every election year, voter turnout is
extremely low.
Obscenely low. And how do you plan? How can you knock on those doors and get the people to respond to your message?
So my community activism and my advocacy for the youth and all that, I'm hoping those people come out, they support me, and we get that. But I'm not going to lie to you. I know the voting's turnout's low. There's a pocket of voters that I need to make sure I'm in front of, talking to them and tell them, give me a chance. I don't have to be your first pick. Just let me be everybody's second pick so that I can get a chance to show my vision. I asked everybody, you vote for me, you vote for me now, give me the 4-year term. If you don't like it, don't vote for me again. Give me a chance to open the eyes, to show people that, hey, I know what I'm doing. I have the leadership abilities. I'm going to show up every day. And I'm a military guy. I'm going to show up, bootstraps ready to go, clean shaved and ready to go. So. And
I understand that you're going to be a show-up guy on November 3rd, I believe,
yes,
when
sir.
we hold the candidates
I'm
debate.
Actually really, really excited. A lot of people don't know this. I'm not a shy person. I'm a worker. I was in the military. I use my voice when I have to, but I work. I work with everybody. I like to get along with it. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to be there. I can't wait. I think it's going to be exciting. I'm a big fan of Frank Sparks, so I love this, guys. I watch you guys' show, meet the candidates. I think you do a great job with all of them, from the state reps down to the commissioners. You ask hard questions. You make them answer them, too. So.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes,
we won't hold it against you that you know Frank and real
yes,
Frank.
Sir.
Thank you very much. Pleasure talking to you.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
be looking forward to seeing you on the 3rd and listening to what you have to say here today.
Thank you.
Julian Taylor is running on the Democratic ballot for Beaver County Commissioner, and he is part of this dais tonight, or this afternoon, with the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce, and we're happy to have been asked to come out and do this program live leading up to the question and answer period with the candidates, and we'll continue with more on Beaver County Radio.
Are you tired of the same old, same old? Well, visit the all-new Moon Township Honda on University Boulevard in Moon Township. Whether it's sales, parts, or service, they treat you right. Moon friends.
Now that the sights and sounds of summer are fading in your rearview mirror, there's still time to enjoy your classic car and turn heads this fall. Restore your cherished ride to its former glory and call Ganew's Body Works in Freedom. Gary Snare has been offering collision and restoration services for over 20 years. Everything from lowering or airbagging your rod or street custom to full custom color paint, Ganew's also handles collision and general repairs. Say hello to cooler weather with the hottest car around. Call Ganew's Body Works, 408th Street in Freedom.
When accidents and injuries happen, you need the experience and insight of the legal team at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. Since 1934, they've been committed to the physical and financial recovery of personal injury victims. Why choose the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George? Attorney Larry Kelly explains.
First of all, we've been AV rated by Martindale Hubbell. It's the highest rating you can get for legal ability and ethics, and that comes from our peers. We have board-certified civil trial specialist, which is like another bar exam. Would you go to a doctor who is not board-certified? Probably not. I've always said, and I tell my daughters, I have 3 daughters who are attorneys. Those in the profession know. The lawyers of LGKG have the respect of our peers, and that's all I ever cared about.
For your free initial consultation, call the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George at 724-658-8535 or online at lgkg.com. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, keeping promises for over 80 years.
For all your home appliance and furnishings, shop AK Nahas on Labor Day. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., get big savings throughout our showroom. Sleep better on a dual-sided queen mattress and firmer plush for only $650. Get an 18-cubic-foot refrigerator for $629. Conquer pet hair like a pro with Maytag Pet Pro washer or dryer, removing 5 times more pet hair, just $7.99 each. Take an extra 15% off all furniture. No one sells less on Labor Day. Open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. AK Nahas Appliance, Furniture, Mattress, and TV. You'll do okay with AK.
I'm Mike Romai. We're at the Fez for the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce lunch with the Beaver County candidates. Donna Lee Seipel was standing by. She's going to introduce the program. I'm looking at the dais, and you'll be able to see that in a few moments, but they are packed in. They're shoulder to shoulder as they're having their lunch, but this is going off, and they have it very well timed. Harry Kunzelman is going to be the moderator of the event, and there are, as I look at the dais, I see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 people up on the stage, and they will be given 3 minutes apiece to answer questions that Harry Kunzelman will pose to them. He will be at the podium, and the candidates will pass along a wireless mic so they'll be moving it along to answer the questions. It's an exciting event and an interesting event, should say more educational, because Beaver County residents need to know who their elected officials are going to be. We have incumbents on the stage. The offices are filled. Here's Donna Lee Seipel.
For coming and for being here today. Please go ahead and continue to enjoy your meals as the program continues. My name is Donna Lee Seipel. I'm the president of the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce. And thank you. It is it's an unbelievable pleasure and privilege to serve in this role and to be here today with you. I'd like to thank you for coming, as well as thank all the candidates for coming from both parties. We're really looking forward to hearing from them, and I really appreciate your being here as well. So thank you very much. Our event sponsors today, the gold sponsor is Shell Polymers. Our silver sponsor is LSSE, Civil Engineering and Surveyors, and Duquesne Light Company. Our media sponsor is WVVP WNBA Radio. Let's hear it for our sponsors without this. I would like to introduce to you somebody that you're probably very familiar with because of his great presence and work within the community within Beaver County and for many years. It's Harry Kunzelman. Harry is a shareholder at Strasburger, McKenna, Gutnick, and Gefsky, and a solicitor for the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce. We're very happy to have him serve in that role and appreciate his support in many ways. He has also just been named recently as the chair of the Board of Trustees for the Community College at Beaver County. And as I said before, he's a member of many, many Beaver County organizations, including the Rotary Club, I know, and probably some others he can tell you about. So Harry's going to set us up, and thank you very much again.
Thank you, Donna Lee, and thanks to all of you for attending this afternoon. My role today is to just sort of try to keep things moving along. My first task is to let you know that I'm actually standing in for Scott Monin, who chairs the Chamber's Government Affairs Committee. I'm the former chair of the Government Affairs Committee and wanted to give you just a quick overview of what that committee does. For those of you who are Chamber members and are interested in serving on that committee, please let Donna Lee or Molly know. We'd be happy to involve you in government affairs. But that committee acts on behalf of the Chamber and advocates for issues that are important to Chamber members. Every year, the committee puts together a list of legislative and policy priorities that the Chamber wants to focus on for the coming year, and then that goes to the Chamber Board of Governors for approval. This year, the 2023 legislative priorities are the following. First is to actively support ongoing educational initiatives in Beaver County. Second is to support the implementation of broadband access to all parts of Beaver County. Third is to support economic growth, business, transportation improvements, and workforce development in Beaver County. Fourth is to work with county government and business leaders to support a comprehensive and collaborative marketing strategy for Beaver County. And lastly is to advocate for responsible and competitive tax policies. Government Affairs meets on the second Friday of every month at 8 o'clock in the morning at CCBC's boardroom on campus. Committee members come from all parts of the Chamber, including business, large and small business representatives, the energy sector, the nonprofit sector, education, local government, workforce development, legal, healthcare. So we have a very broad group of representation on government affairs. We also have speakers at almost every meeting to try to address all of these priority issues. We've had presentations from the governor's office. We had our congressional breakfast with Congressman DeLuzio, Representative Jim Marshall. Our state treasurer, Stacy Garrity, made an appearance and talked to us about what her office does. We've had presentations from Lou Vellotti and Tony Calturi on marketing in Beaver County. And our last presentation this year will be in December from Lance Grable, who is the Director of Planning and Redevelopment, and Brandon Carson, Executive Director of PA Broadband Development Authority, to try to monitor the implementation of broadband. So we're a very active committee. If you're interested in joining us, please let us know. Now for the events of today. So the way this will work is all of the candidates have been advised in advance that they're all being asked to answer the same 4 questions. And those questions are, number 1, why are you running for this office? Number 2, what makes you the best candidate for this office? Number 3, how will you do things differently if elected or re-elected? And number 4, what accomplishments are you most proud of? I will announce each candidate. We will start with incumbent candidates, and then we will move to challenging candidates in each of the races. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to give you their responses to those 4 questions. And we have folks timing in the back, so I would ask the candidates, look to the left of the camera, and you'll have a 1-minute warning and then an end time. And I'm going to apologize in advance if I have to interrupt you, but I've been given strict orders to keep things moving along. So, there's a wireless mic here that we'll just pass down the table, and we'll begin very shortly. I just do want to say that there won't be any formal Q&A during this segment with the audience, but we are allowing time afterwards for everybody to stick around, network with each other. It's also an opportunity for you to address any of these candidates one-on-one, ask them questions on things that are important to you. So with that, we will begin. We will start with the race for county commissioner, and our first candidate is the incumbent chair of the Board of Commissioners, Dan Camp. Dan, you have 3 minutes. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Harry. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank the Chamber for putting this event on for all of us candidates up here today. It's really great to see so many faces that we interact with on a daily basis. As Harry mentioned, we have these questions that were asked of us. You know, just 8 years ago, I sat on stages like this and asked Beaver County to believe in a young man to run for county commissioner to help move it forward. I was just recently married, hoping to start a family. I wanted to see Beaver County continue to move forward. I'm running for re-election because I believe the work we've done in the last 8 years, 2 separate boards, but also other row officers, has been moving the county forward. You know, we've done a lot of good things, whether it was come from a budget deficit to building a well-funded, well-efficient, orderly courthouse. You know, I think the things we are doing in Beaver County are moving well. Whether you believe it's a faltering county or not, I urge you to come to our meetings. I urge you to come see what we're doing in the courthouse, see the things that we are providing to our residents and constituents throughout Beaver County, and we will argue the fact that the things in Beaver County are moving forward. We are growing, and we welcome new businesses. You know, what makes me the best candidate? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the better candidate from Commissioner Manning or Commissioner Rodeo or Mr. Taylor who's running, because I am a firm believer that if you're willing to put your family and yourself in a position in public service, you are going to do what is good for the county. So no matter who you vote for on November 7th, I believe the 3 of the 4, whoever gets elected, will have the common good of Beaver County in mind. So I'm not going to sit here and say why I'm the better candidate. You know, I believe we have 4 good candidates up here on stage, and they will have a common good and a common goal to move Beaver County forward. How will I do things differently? You know, that's a tough question for an incumbent to ask, because I believe we are running an orderly and efficient government in the courthouse. You know, we have many different departments. We have many different department heads, elected officials. So, you know, the things that we are doing, you know, I think we're doing them well. I think we have a budget that is very well funded, our pensions funded. We haven't raised taxes because we were able to build that nest egg and the budget. You know, I'm going to keep going back to the budget. That's going into my next one. That's probably my biggest accomplishment, not mine, but the county's biggest accomplishment, because there's no accomplishment of mine. It's a team. You know, we put people in place to help do that. So, you know, one of our biggest accomplishments, we are one of the first counties to have the FEI, the Family Initiative Program. We are spotlighted across the Commonwealth when it comes to children youth services. Commissioner Manning helps spearhead the broadband initiative. We've given 90% of our $92 million ARP funds back into the municipalities, nonprofits, and small businesses. We're here to support our municipalities.
Thank you, Commissioner Camp. Our next candidate is incumbent Commissioner Jack Manning. Jack, 3 minutes, the floor is yours.
I've already made an executive decision that I will not answer all 4 questions. This will be the least I've ever spoken in a chamber event in my life. But I will just say, I do want to address why I'm running, why I'm so passionate about the job in serving Beaver County. Many of you know my story. I won't get into all the details due to lack of time. But my wife and I moved up here as empty nesters 23 years ago. Work brought me up here through a sequence of events. My older son moved up here, married a girlfriend. Married a girl from Beaver Falls. I have a 16-year-old granddaughter that lives in Patterson Heights. And just last year, my younger son moved after 6 years working for a defense program.
Steve, can we get another mic?
Doesn't matter. See, you'd be cutting out. Anyway, my younger son moved up here, married a girl from Japan. I have a 4-year-old, soon-to-be 4-year-old grandson. They live here now. This is home. This is where I live, where my entire family is with me right now. My passion for this community that embraced me those 25 years ago, too much has been given, much is expected. And my only motivation for being commissioner is to continue to serve the county that's my home, that I'm passionate about, that the people have embraced me, and just given me so many. It's just been a tremendous honor to serve as your commissioner, and a lot of you continue to encourage me to run. That's why I'm for re-election. I think we have done a significant job making sure that the county is fiscally responsible, building our economy, and improving our quality of life. And I have a whole list of things I'm very proud of that we've accomplished in those 4 years. Among the most is opening the men's shelter after so many years, and what we're doing with the housing needs that are out there. The broadband that Dan mentioned before, parks and recreation, the investments that we're making into the infrastructure and the quality of life, the improvements that we've made there are significant. We're about ready to break ground on the Environmental Discovery Center that I'm very, very proud of, and we've been pushing forward on. So there's a whole host of things that have been great accomplishments, but I think the good governance that we've tried to provide, the fiscal responsibility, the fact that we do have a fully funded pension, our bond rating went up from BBB plus to A minus. That may not sound like a lot, but I can tell you that means that a whole lot of people believe that we're fiscally sound and fiscally responsible. And in terms of best candidate, I have great respect to anybody who goes through the process, put the name on the ballot. I've said that for years, and I still believe that. So I'm not going to try and differentiate myself from the other candidates who's not being qualified, but I'll put my work ethic and my stamina, my energy, and my passion for people up against anybody who's running for office.
Thank you, Jack. And for the remaining candidates, I'm noticing that when the mic is about an inch or so, maybe an inch and a half away, it works a little bit better. So let's try that, and if we're having issues, we'll make adjustments, I promise. Sorry for those technical difficulties.
Sorry about that. They're working on another mic as well. So.
Okay, so we'll do our best.
Can I sing until we get in the mic?
We would love that.
You don't want to hear me sing.
Our next candidate is incumbent Commissioner Tony Amadeo. Tony, the floor is yours.
Donna and Molly, I want you to know that I've been married almost 52 years this coming New Year, and I don't get this close. I can't believe how close we are. Huh? Yes. Why am I running for office? Well, I started out as a volunteer fireman when I was 18 years old, and I got the community service bug bit me, and I've been involved in community service since that very time. And I'm going to be 72, so it's a long time within the fire service, teaching, athletic director, Center Township supervisor, and then these last 15 and a half years as your Beaver County Commissioner. So that's the main focus why I'm running again. I enjoy helping people. That's the main thing. And we had a forum the other day, and the thing that I mentioned the most is helping people, being able to pick up the phone when somebody's grandmother is in distress, or somebody's child needs help, or somebody that needs a mental evaluation in their family. I know how to hook those people up with the proper professional to get them help. And we have the funds, which are pass-through funds, that comes from the state to help those people help themselves. And that's probably the main reason why I've been a county commissioner for 16 years and never had any other desire to go any higher, is because I shop where I live. I'm with people daily. I enjoy the contact with my constituents. I really enjoy this job. And I tell people, I never thought I'm blessed with 2 careers, but I tell people that I never thought I'd ever get a position that I would enjoy as much as being a teacher. But this comes pretty close. I'm about to be cut off. People skills are very, very important in this job. Accomplishments, my biggest accomplishment, I think, is the 911 center that we built during the Great Recession, when nobody had any money, nobody had the ability to borrow money. Yeah, it's just not, yeah. I thought maybe because I was sitting so close. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. Mr. Taylor, if you're having problems, I'll try to see if this, you want to try again?
Can I stand up there? Can we stand at the dais?
Yeah, let's do that. That'll be safe.
Let's start over.
Yeah. Okay, our next candidate is a challenging candidate for the position of County Commissioner, Mr. Julian Taylor. Mr. Taylor? 3 minutes.
First off, thank you for everybody being here today, and it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to stand with everybody on this stage. During the dog days of the campaign, everybody's a little tired, so I know everybody up here is working. I appreciate all you guys that are doing that, and we might have differences, but at the end of the day, there's no ill will going on, so I appreciate all you guys and everything that you guys are doing. So, reason why I'm running for office. I'm running for office so that Beaver County can look at everything through a different lens, that they can see the things that everybody does not see. I might not be the traditional person who was raised in politics, but I am somebody who was raised in Beaver County. I went to the military and fought in Syria with the Beaver County resilience. The resilience of Beaver County is the reason why I'm running, because we need to start focusing on what's going to come down the pipeline in 2030. In 2030, the new census comes out. We could either lose population or grow population. We want to make sure we're above board. We want to make sure our county is always growing. And I believe, looking through a different lens, we have to focus on our youth, which is between the ages 16, 17, and 18. We want those people to go to college, come back, or go to college in our county, at our great community college, at our university at Penn State, or our college in Geneva. We want them to get the education that they need, stay here, and make our economy grow. Looking at Beaver County through a different lens means you got to bring different people to the table. When I was in the military, I learned you have to work with everybody. So when I look at everybody up here, if I win, my door is always open, and I will work with every person up here to make sure that our county and government runs efficiently. Because in the military, you work with who you have. People that show up are the people you work with. So there is no better candidate than anyone up here. I do agree with Mr. Manning, Mr. Camp, and Mr. Amadeo. I agree with them 100%. No one is better than anyone because we put our name on the ballot, just like serving in the military. Joe Smo and Smith they're here to fight with you. You have to learn how to fight with them. So my biggest accomplishment in my life is my children. My children make me smile every day, and that's why I'm up here. I'm up here to make sure my children have something to come back to.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. We're now moving to the county treasurer race. The first candidate will be incumbent candidate Sandy Egley.
Thank you to the chamber for, wow, you're tall. You're tall. I thought I was tall. Thank you for giving us a platform to have this today because it means that you're wanting to be educated voters. So I appreciate that. I am Sandy Egley and I'm the county treasurer. I've been in the office for 4 years. My duty as a treasurer is I collect the taxes for current year, which means I mail out 100,000 bills, tax bills, so I'm not the most popular person in the room, but I do deposit, move money, about $200 million a year. And my office is a customer service office, which means that you can come in and speak to me anytime that you want. You pay your taxes. I'm also an agent of the state, which means that I have hunting, fishing, dog licenses, small games of chance, and bingo. And I am bonded, which means that you can have confidence that your money is being taken care of very well. Along with taxes, my deputies, I have CB, who is currently here. He took vacation to be here, and there's no greater compliment to a treasurer than to have the support of their staff. And I have Terry, Rhonda, Gina, Val, Cassandra, Sarah, and Pam and CB. They make me look good. You're nothing without your staff, and that I am so proud of. We're a team. We help each other. My accomplishments are, so when you send in your tax dollars, I deposit them. When I came into office, we didn't have a lot of diversity in where we put our money. I created diversity and I invested your tax dollars, and right now, in the 4 years that I have been in office, I have made over $6 million on your tax dollars. That can be put into the general fund for the commissioners to use as they see fit. If you're looking at the hierarchy, how government works, I bring in the tax dollars, Controller Longo sends out the checks, and the commissioners decide on where the money goes. So in 20 years, the tax collection rate has been hovering around 89%. Since I've been in office, it's been 95%. So I collect 95% of the taxes that I mail out. I'm pretty proud of that because that's the highest in 20 years. We created a better way of making it easier for you to pay your taxes. I put a QR code on your tax bill so you can just scan it, and it takes you right to the portal to where you can pay taxes online. And I have gotten the ability to accept an e-check, which means that you can pay your taxes cheaper than mailing them in. It's cheaper than a stamp, 20 cents to send your taxes in. So I've also done an online dog portal so that you can, from the ease of your home, get your dog license because you want to avoid that $300 fine if you get caught. I also want to tell you that I didn't see Donna Lee. I'll thank you. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sandy. That was one of the hazards of giving up the podium, is we had having trouble to coordinate, but we'll do that. So our next candidate is the challenging candidate, Leonard Sinez. Leonard?
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Thanks, Sandy, for all those details. I won't have to go over them now. So, my name's Lenny Sinez. I'm running for treasurer. And so why should you vote for me instead of Sandy? Well, I'll let my experience speak for itself. I had already worked for 2 brokerage firms by the time I was hired by Charles Schwab in San Francisco in 1983. Our job in the purchase and sales department was to balance the ledgers of millions of dollars of trading activity every day. We also recorded dozens of trade problems and made hundreds of journal account entries weekly. With more experience came higher responsibility. I was given the job of writing procedures manuals for every desk in the department. That came in handy when Schwab made the transition away from paper ledgers. I was chosen to be the liaison between the back office and the software designers who created Schwab's new computerized accounting system for our department. I was also the first person in the department to pass the Series 7 stockbroker exam. During this entire time, I excelled as a team player who brought enthusiasm and rigorous attention to detail to the office every day. As for what I would do differently, I believe that we are now on the cusp of a technological paradigm shift with the emergence of artificial intelligence. I think we should be open to the possibilities of AI rather than being fearful of it. Turning a blind eye to the future is not going to make it go away. One accomplishment that I'm very proud of is the job that me and my coworkers at Schwab did in the immediate aftermath of the market crash of 1987. The loss of data caused by the overwhelming volume of trades on Black Monday wreaked havoc in brokerage houses nationwide. We had to retrieve data as quickly as possible and post it to our ledgers accurately. I was picked by my manager to lead a team of employees who devoted long hours over the course of several days to accomplish this. It was an all-hands-on-deck assignment that we pulled off in exemplary fashion. Finally, with regard to why I'm running for treasurer, essentially, I'm motivated by the desire to live a purposeful life. For me, public service as an elected official is a path to fulfilling that aspiration. And having a positive impact on the lives of the residents of Beaver County should be the goal of every person running for office here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sinez. We will now move to the office of sheriff. We have one candidate for that race, which is incumbent Sheriff Tony Guy. Sheriff Guy.
Hello, my name is Tony Guy. I've been the sheriff for 8 years now, just shy of 8 years. And there's only one candidate here because I'm running unopposed. And I want to do things a little bit out of order from the list of questions that we have. So I'm going to start with the things that I'm most proud of, my accomplishments. So one of the things that enticed me or kind of moved me to run for sheriff 8 years ago the first time was because there was some turmoil in the sheriff's office. And some deputies that I knew told me that as a result of that turmoil, they had lost the respect of some of the members of the public, people that they encountered on a day-to-day basis. And that's one of the things that I wanted to change. So when I took office, we eliminated some of the personnel that were there. We established new hiring standards that didn't include nepotism or friendships or people that were helping out on a candidate's campaign. Those standards have stood to this day, and that we apply them not only to hires but to promotions and everything else along the line. We've modernized the office. When I stepped into the office, nobody had an email address. So think about that. 2016, nobody had an email address. So we modernized that. We digitized our policy and procedures manual. We have just recently this year gone to a new software system to manage all the processes in the office. And we're going to continue to do that. One of the things that I intend to do next year, changes that we'll make, is I intend to have the sheriff's office accredited, which basically means an outside agency comes in and looks at all your processes, looks at everything you do, your paperwork, and they determine and establish that you are doing things by law and according to the best practices. There is only one other law enforcement agency in Beaver County that currently has that. We hope to be the second. So what makes me the best candidate for office? So frankly, it's pretty simple. I'm the only one that's going to be on your ballot. So, but I think that is because I hope that the people out there in the community and the parties have understood that I've done a great job based on those things that I've told you, and want to see me for another 4 years. So why am I running for office? That's pretty simple too. I've got the energy, I've got the enthusiasm, I want to continue to do the things that have been done, and I want to make the things that I put in place in the sheriff's office difficult for the next sheriff to remove. So thank you for your time here, thank you to the chamber for putting this on, and I hope I'm under the 3 minutes. Thank you.
We're going to give you a second gold star. You have one on your chest, but you get another one for being under 3 minutes. Thank you, Sheriff Guy. Our next political office is the office of District Attorney, and our first candidate is incumbent District Attorney David Lozier. David?
I want to thank the Chamber, first of all, for doing this. We haven't had an opportunity to talk directly to voters as a group. And in a county like Beaver, it's important for us to get out there. We can get out there as much as we can, but to have a forum like this, and with WBVP having this live on Facebook so the county can watch this and live stream it, this really helps us all and helps the citizens. So thank you for the forum. Why am I running? I'm David Lozier, I'm the current district attorney running for re-election for the same reason most of us here are running, is I'm a servant. And that's what servants do. I served 12 years in the Army, volunteered, served my country, put my life at risk, infantry, helicopter pilot, going to strange places, meeting strange people. And then when I got married, moved to Beaver County, started a household, I served my community. I was appointed and then elected to Borough Council in Patterson Heights. I spent 12 years on council in Patterson Heights, 10 of those 12 years as a council president. Again, serving my community. And then running for district attorney, my goal was to serve the county as a whole, to serve the people, the victims, the witnesses, the communities, the businesses that are ravaged by crime. So I want to continue serving as much as you'll have me. I also want to continue serving because I have some unfinished business. I have begun a number of major initiatives. I introduced technology. The sheriff's office didn't have an email account. When I showed up at my office 8 years ago, the district attorney did not have an email account, and they did not have any case management system. I've installed management systems on every side of my courthouse. I'm sorry, we're moving on here. But using technology as much as I can so my office can be more efficient, and also help the police departments be more efficient on their end. I'm most proud of standing up the Special Victims Unit this year. We had a dramatic increase in crimes against children, sexual violence, and domestic violence. So we stood up a new program, and we are doing a much better job prosecuting, assisting the police departments in investigations and prosecuting those cases. We have not lost a domestic violence or a rape trial since we began this process. And also the Pardon Project. I've worked with Rico Rogers and a number of agencies here in the county to establish a process how we can actually provide forgiveness. I'm saying that as a very law and order DA, but there comes a point where when someone has completed their task and served their time, we help them re-enter society. So we're trying to do that as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lozier. The challenging candidate for the office of District Attorney is Mr. Nate Bible. Nate, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Harry, and thank you to the Chamber, as most of the candidates have, for giving us this platform and allowing us to be heard. So I guess the reason I'm running for office is to be quite honest with you. I never had any interest in politics, and I said no multiple times before I eventually said yes. I love being a lawyer. I love the clients that we serve and help every day. And you know, in making that decision, there was just an outpour from our bar association, from law enforcement, from political officers on both sides of the aisle, really pushing me to do this. And I gave them the same answer every time. I love my firm, I love my partner, I love what we do, I love helping our clients. And what finally sold me on it was somebody told me, well, Beaver County can be your client. And you can help not just the thousands of clients you have, but the 70,000 residents that live in Beaver County. So that put a smile on my face, and from that moment I was all in. So let's see here. So what makes me the best candidate for the office? I think in this position, I think experience really matters. I think being able to handle a criminal case as the chief prosecutor makes a world of difference. I've handled hundreds of criminal cases, and I think having that leadership ability as well. I've been a past president of our Young Lawyer Division in our Bar Association. I currently serve on the Board of Governors for our Bar Association. I'm in the Pennsylvania House of Delegates, and I am a former Bar Leadership Institute class member. So having leadership ability and having the criminal knowledge, I think is what really makes me the candidate for this job. So I think how I would do things differently, I only have 1 minute. So how I would do things differently, I think I've never worked in law enforcement, I've never been a prosecutor. So I think coming into that office and not thinking I have all the answers, relying on the people that have been doing this job for decades, listening to their advice, taking in everything that they have to say before making those decisions. Having the approach to being open-minded, being willing to work with all of these different agencies. The DA's office is kind of the spoke, or the hub, I should say, to where you're dealing with a lot of different agencies, and having that good working relationship with them, I think is crucial. So I guess compliments I'm the most proud of. I would say it's the hundreds or thousands of clients that we have helped. If you Google our firm, MBMS Law, you can read for yourself the Google reviews that clients leave us. Client brought us in a dozen enchiladas that she made as a thank you yesterday. On Tuesday, a dozen donuts from Orms. And I'll wrap it up. Come to my office and see the thank you notes we have. And that's what keeps us going, that they know that I go above and beyond for them. And so that's their way of going above, saying thank you. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bible. The next office will be the Office of County Controller, and our first candidate is incumbent Maria Longo. Maria.
Thank you, Harry, and the Chamber, and all of you for coming out. I am Maria Longo. I was born and raised in Beaver County. I currently live in Industry with my 4 dogs. Anyone who knows me on Facebook, that's probably all I post about are my dogs. But I'm in the country, so yeah, I didn't have kids. Those are my 4 spoiled dogs. I ran 4 years ago for controller because I had been following the county for many years, and I had seen the ups and downs of our fiscal process. We were on a cycle that every couple years we would run in the red to the tune of $2 to $3 million, upwards of $6 million, and we would have to take out a bond and pay off the bills, and then we'd be in the black for a couple years, and then we'd go red again. That was our cycle for at least 30 years. When in 2017, when the new commissioners came in and they made some changes, we have been in the black since 2017. We have not gone red. And in those years, and in the last 4 years, we've been able to establish a fund and invest. And that's because of how well we work together. As Jack and them had said, we all work well together, and we are trying to make this county fiscally stable and to move in the future so that we don't have to raise taxes and we can spend your dollars efficiently. And when I came into office 4 years ago, there were 2 main things I wanted to do. I wanted to increase transparency, and I wanted to help contribute to our fiscal stability. I've done that in multiple ways. I have increased our website so that I put out special reports. You can go up there, you can see 10 years worth of our financial statements to see where we spend our money, how it's spent, how every department's performing. I put out a 2-year report at the beginning of it showing how each department has done in spending. Have they increased from year to year? Have they decreased? Are they being very fiscal? I put out 2 reports also that show you who our money spent. So we are very transparent. You can see all of that on our website, as well as our 250-page report, which we put out every year. The other thing was the fiscal stability and the auditing. We did not do much auditing prior to my coming into office. We just did the minimum that was required. We have increased that. We are doing much more auditing. We're doing oversight of money. Since I've been there, we've helped save the county over $1 million in oversight of fraud and cost savings. We have increased auditing. We have put together special reports to help the commissioners make better decisions. And I am currently starting to work with their department and their fiscal guy to establish a capital plan so that we can continue to make improvements and be fiscally stable in the future. So I am glad to serve. I love this. This is not a job. I love the county. I love what I do, and I want to keep doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Longo. Yeah, you get the second gold star today. Yeah. The challenging candidate for the office of controller is Ms. Tina Price Jeans. Tina?
I am going to read because I'm long-winded, but thank you. My bid for office comes from the grassroots and the total understanding of how Beaver County groups and organizations carry the load of addressing needs of our residents. And I want to be the change, and I want to see the change that Beaver County needs to see. The county's response to addressing these needs could be more appropriate, and I would like to share my expertise in these areas with the commissioners. And of course, my role as controller, my response will be make sure that we are dispersing things in a timely manner and also sustaining the county. My professional qualifications is unique problem solving, understanding local and community and its financial needs. I have a verifiable track record of community engagement, and significant assets will enable me to inform decisions that positively impact the residents and the county and its financial health. I manage change well, I am adaptable, and I function well in ambiguous circumstances. As a member of the Aliquippa School Board and the president, I provide oversight of millions of taxpayer, government, and private foundation dollars. I have a hands-on with budget designed to devote resources and district internal infrastructure, which contributes to the district funds balance staying in the black. I am also the Deputy Director of the Franklin Center of Beaver County, which I have been there for 11 years. I have worked in program budget, managing agency, strategic planning, payroll, performance evaluations, program management, and staff oversight. And I have worked with family, parents, and youth. I have a bachelor's degree in education. I'm working on strategic management and a master's. I'm a certified life coach, and so I have some qualifications that are great. I show genuine concern for the Beaver County community through my work, and I also plan to improve some of the physical control and department budgets. I am proud to be a wife. I am proud to be a resident of Beaver County. I love people. My passion is for people. My passion is to serve people. My passion is to make sure that resources are provided and that things are sustainable. I am also passionate about breaking down the silos, creating collaborative relationships with the community and multiple organizations. I have played a significant role in this year of serving 170K Beaver County residents. I will continue to be transparent in my work. I will be open. I will be honest with my staff, courthouse officials, department personnel, the Beaver County community at large. So by electing me as county controller, you best believe and you can rest assured that you're electing more than just a good steward over your money, but I am a good steward over the well-being of Beaver County.
Thank you, Tina. Our next political office is the office of Beaver County Coroner. The first candidate is incumbent David Gabon. Dave?
like to thank all you for coming out here today, spending your lunch with us. Nobody ever wants to talk to the coroner. I don't take that personally. Why am I running for the office? Well, I ran for the office to be able to serve the residents of Beaver County, and that's why I'm here for the past 7.5 years in this role, and I'll continue to serve if reelected here in November. What would make me your best candidate for this job? My experience that I have in the death care industry. I'm 54 years old. I started working at the family cemetery when I was 8. So I really know nothing else other than how to take care of loved ones whenever they have a death in their family. I currently own 3 funeral homes here in Beaver County with my wife, and I've been a licensed funeral director for just short of 33 years, and serving here as your coroner for the past 7.5+ years. Established a great working relationship with all the EMS, fire departments, police departments throughout Beaver County. I'm happy to stand here today and say that the FOP of Beaver County and the state police in Beaver County has unanimously endorsed me to be their candidate for the office of coroner again this year. As far as doing things differently, I feel that the office that we have is ran pretty efficiently. The only thing that I really, am a stickler on is continuing education. I have required all deputies to complete the Attorney General's 45-hour course and pass their test to be able to have their certificate, and they must complete a minimum of 8 hours of continuing education on a yearly basis. So I'm happy to say that we're always learning every single year about different things. We do a lot of that with our police departments. Accomplishments that I've done over the past 7.5 years, like a couple of the other candidates and officers here, we didn't have email. None of our guys did. We didn't have cell phones. They had to use all their personal phones for photographs and everything. So we've put that into place. We have set office hours for our law enforcement and families to be able to come to get reports. That was never done in the past. And we have a very quick turnaround on cremation authorizations. That may not sound like a big thing, but when you're the funeral home sitting there waiting for the coroner to approve and give you the authorization to be able to cremate, we did approximately just over 1,300 of them last year. So one of the biggest things is the professionalism that we've put into the office with all the deputies, and that's something that anybody who's ever encountered any of my deputies or any of the office out there, the staff that we have, has seen that. So I'll just ask for your support again on November the 7th. I would love to have my 3rd term here to serve you folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gabauer. Our next candidate is challenging candidate Antonio Pitts. Mr. Pitts.
Thank you and hello. I am honored to be here, and this is the reason why I am running this very moment, to be able to speak on behalf of those that may not be able to speak for themselves. I've been a funeral director for over 20 years. I've been an educator at the School of University of Gannon and taught in this field of mortuary science. I'm here because I know that this is not a job that I have chosen, but I was chosen for it. I believe that the thing that makes me best for it, because I am for the people, I am the people. I sit in my office and I hold hands with clients, I hold hands with families, and I cry with them, I pray with them. But this is the first time that I'm seeing promise that now I can step before the people and be something more than just a funeral director. We need programs in place. We need active counseling. We need programs that's for people before they go to the funeral home. I plan on putting in programs in place so that we have an aftercare program. I do believe that I am the best because I have stood in the gap. I have stood with the people, and I'm standing for the people. My accomplishments one of my greatest accomplishments is that during the time of COVID-19, there was family members and the citizens of Beaver County where they didn't have masks, they didn't have the food, we couldn't get them to get the COVID-19 shot. Me and leaders of other cities, from Ambridge to Beaver Falls, there in Aliquippa, those leaders, they got together with myself, and we got 2 chartered buses, and we were able to charter them to places where they can get vaccinated. We also got food and went into the high rises and provided food, clothing. Those are my accomplishments. Those are things that I'm proud of, and those are the things that I'm bringing to the table. My most accomplishment is that I am here to serve the county of Beaver. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pitts. Our next political office is the office of Prothonotary, and our first candidate is incumbent Michael Rossi. Michael?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to the Chamber. One of the first things I did when I got elected 4 years ago was join the Chamber of Commerce, and I'll tell you, it's been a really pleasant experience. I enjoy the functions that you have, and I thank you for bringing us here today. So why am I running? Some years ago, I had the distinct privilege of being hired as a union person in J&L Steel back in the late 70s. And I saw a lot of intelligent people there, just people that worked in a mill, you and me, everybody that's sitting in this room. And a lot of them were afraid. They were afraid to do things, afraid to speak up. And I said, you know, I have this, that's me. So since my young adult life, I've been volunteering. I started out as, I did 8 years as a school board member, 2 of the years as a president, and I'm going to jump around. One of my most best accomplishments was, and what I am very proud of to this day, is I was the president of the Center Area School Board when we merged with Monaca and became Central Valley. And we all know the history of that and the success that they've had. So I was able to bring that communication skill, working with people, understanding how to communicate with people. And when this job came open, I didn't know anything about a Prothonotary, I didn't know what they did. And I researched it. And I said, you know what, I can do this. I talked to a couple of people and they said, yeah, you can do it. It's a management position. And one of the things that I did as a union member was I became a unit president, where at one point I had over 300 members under me. And I learned how to communicate with them and to make them better people. And it was my entire life has been about helping people. So when I got into this office, I had an experienced staff. I had a great staff. And then the COVID comes. So, okay, 1 minute. So the COVID comes. Now I have an experienced staff. After that COVID, I lost a lot of staff to retirement and people moving on. And now I have a young staff. My most senior person, other than my 2 clerks, 2 deputies, have 2 years. And the job is, the Prothonotary's job is a very demanding job. We are the keeper of civil records. And it's very important that you maintain those records, because you have the fate of somebody's case, somebody's life or something in your hands. We're not criminal, we're civil, but it can have a big impact on somebody if you don't do it right. So I was able to bring in a new staff, a young staff. They're learning, but they're good. And I just want to say a shout out to them. I think they're out there listening, but I'm very proud of them. I would hope that you find in your heart to re-elect me, and I love my job. So thank you very much, and thank you to the Chamber.
Thank you, Mr. Rossi. The challenging candidate for the office of Prothonotary is Jody Janicki Jones. Ms. Jones.
Hello. So I'm running for Prothonotary because I see an opportunity to bring a positive change and a new young voice into the Beaver County Courthouse. So a little bit about me. I got my bachelor's degree from Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona. I studied government legal studies, and that was specified in civil law. I also have a degree in biblical studies. After I graduated, I moved back here and I took a job with the Senate. I started working for Senator Bartolotta, and then I took a job with State Representative Jim Marshall, and I've been a legislative aide for him ever since. One thing that I would want to do differently is I'd want to prioritize increasing and improving the technology in the office. The better the technology, the more efficiently the office can work. And there's a lot of funding out there to get improved technology, and I've experienced grant writing, and I hope to bring that to the office and improve some of the technology and the overall efficientness. The accomplishment I'm most proud of, one thing immediately came to mind. Whenever I was in Phoenix, Arizona in college, me and my buddies, we started a homeless ministry. And every morning we would feed 600 to 1,000 homeless people on the streets every single morning before our 8 a.m. classes. Seeing that program take off and serving these folks and seeing them get the tools they needed to get through recovery, get into housing, and get off the streets was one of the biggest joys of my life. I hope to continue serving people here today. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. The next office is the Office of Register of Wills, and our first candidate is incumbent Tracy Angeline Patton.
Good afternoon. Thanks everyone for coming. I'm Tracy Angeline Patton. I'm the current Register of Wills. I was born and raised here in Beaver County, grew up in Monaca, live in Center Township now with my husband Greg, our 3 children. And I'm going to jump off course a little bit too, because I want to say I'm just mostly proud of them, and I'm going to be a grandma in March, so my daughter's going to try to kill me for saying that, especially if this is live. So. But that is what I'm proud of. Okay, so why am I running again? Well, I've been your Register of Wills for 7.5 years, and I've taken pride in what I've done in the office. I feel that I've represented the county of Beaver very well. I follow all the state rules, the guidelines, the county code. There are a lot more things in our office than people realize. We're a dual office. We're not just the Register of Wills. We're the Clerk of the Orphans Court. Our office does probates for estates. We do guardianships. We also do adoptions. We do the marriage license. There's a bunch of different things that go through our courts. We do hearings on different cases when need be. We deal with the courts a lot. I started out working for an attorney in Beaver County. Then I was the chief clerk for the courthouse for the county commissioners for years. That led me into the position to be prepared to know about the budget and fiscal responsibility with the county. So a lot of that background led me into the position to run for the Register of Wills. So a lot of that background took me into the different position to get me prepared and ready to run. I'm trying to think of the questions again, sorry about that. So do I feel I'm the best candidate for the office? I don't know Maria very well. I introduced myself to her when I came in. I feel that I do a good job. I feel that I have a lot of the experience, the fiscal responsibility. Again, like I said, I work very well with my constituents here and the other elected officials. I rely on them. I feel they rely on me. We call each other and have a very good rapport. I serve all the constituents in Beaver County and residents very well. I get a lot of people that come up to me to ask me different questions with the different offices. They know I'm here to serve them. I feel that I volunteer and support many, many different organizations in the county. I serve on the BCRC board. I work with United Way, Big Brothers Big Sisters. I do a lot of different organizations and public support out there. What else have I done for accomplishments and goals? My goals in the office mainly is, like they've all said, electronic formats when I came in, getting all of our microfiche and film into that, into the electronic format. So that is a big thing there. So I'm out of time, but thank you all again.
Thank you, Tracy. The challenging candidate for the office of Register of Wills is Miss Maria Wolf. Ms. Wolf?
Thank you for having me here today. Whoops. I'm probably one of the shortest ones. Okay. Thank you for having me here today. As I've been announced, I'm Maria Wolf, and I'm running for Register of Wills. I've been a resident of Beaver County for most of my life. It's my honor to stand here before you today, and I thank you for the opportunity to participate in this process where freedom of choice still exists. After being asked to run for this office, I thought long and hard and prayed fervently about it and decided to run on the premise that there needs to be a choice. I'm running on choice because choice is a fundamental treasure that makes America great. And with choice comes the opportunity to make things better. That choice is yours. As for me personally, I am a fighter. And I have been overcoming obstacles since childhood, when one of my biggest fights came when I was 10 and was hit by a pickup truck. As I lay in the hallway of Aliquippa Hospital fighting for my life, the doctors were telling my parents there was no hope of recovery. But God. You see, the hospital sent me to Children's in Pittsburgh, where the countless prayers and the skill of their doctors, I made a full recovery and am able to tell you about it today. Never forget God. I'm told I'm a good listener, and since grade school, I've had people of many ages confide their problems in me. I consider it a gift and a blessing to help by listening with a kind ear. And while I am kind, as I stated, I am a fighter, so never mistake my kindness for weakness. Someone once said there are 5 things you don't mess with: family, friends, faith, our flag, and firearms, and I agree. As for what would I change? Well, everyone has a first day, so that's a question for a later time. I do, however, bring to the table a business degree and lots of business experience. I currently own Highland Cemetery here in Beaver County with my husband, Daryl. I also co-owned a business that turned a profit in the first 9 months. How do you do that, you ask? Through transparency, diligence, and consistency, and attention to details. I am unapologetically a Christian wife, mother, and businesswoman. I come with a fresh pair of eyes and a strong conservative perspective. I believe in the Constitution, and I am running for you, Beaver County, because you are important to me.
Thank you, Ms. Wolf. We will now move to the office of Recorder of Deeds, and our incumbent candidate is Mr. Ron Alberti.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today, and thank you to the Chamber for bringing us all together. This is really cool. We should have done this many more times, but anyway. My name is Ron Alberti. I am the Recorder of Deeds, and people say, what do you do? Well, our job, we are the custodians of the county land records, and I think that's very important because that's a cornerstone for our private property rights, and that's why I'm running. And plus, I love the work. I love coming to work every day, and I want to continue to do that. I have 30 plus years experience in different aspects of the real estate industry. I was a settlement officer, a loan officer, a title searcher. Before I was elected 4 years ago, I worked in the recorder's office for 8 years, so I'm very familiar with the office. I don't know that I do anything differently. I think my office is very efficient and professional, but if I come across something that I think will make things better, I will certainly look at that. The accomplishment I'm most proud of, and it's not me, it's really all of us, and that's when COVID hit. And if you remember, the courthouse was completely shut down. Nobody was allowed in any of the offices. We had to have people working at home, and we got through that, all of us together. And I'm very proud of that. I really am. We have very good government in Beaver County. You know, it's been a privilege to serve. I'd like to continue to do that. And I'm not going to say much more because I'm a public servant, not a public speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alberti. And our final political office is the office of the Clerk of Courts. And we'll be hearing next from incumbent candidate Judy Henslin.
Good evening, everyone. Again, I too want to thank you for coming out today and for the Chamber to do this. Before I get started, nobody knows what a Clerk of Courts is. We have a Clerk of Courts, we have a Prothonist here, and we have a Register of Wills. So real quickly, we maintain all the criminal records for the county. We collect fines, costs, and restitutions. If you want to be a private detective, you do that in my office. If you want to be a constable or deputy constable, we're in charge of that. If you want to post bail, we do that. There's a wealth of things that we do, and knowledge and experience is what you need to operate. Now, one of the things that makes me the best candidate, I'm like Tony, I'm the only one. Thank God, I always do say that, is the knowledge of the Pennsylvania Criminal Rules of Procedure and the local rules of criminal procedure. We're just not a filing office. You think a piece of paper comes in, you put it in a case file. When a court order comes in, I tell my staff, you have to read this order like a book. The court's going to say, pay a fine, pay costs, pay restitution. You're going to go to jail 5 to 10 years. We don't want to put that individual in for 10 to 20, and we want to make sure we do 5 to 10. We have to be very meticulous. There's a lot of requirements now that the state has on us where if there's a victim of a crime that's 60 years or older, we have to document that. We have to look for that information. We just had new legislation that was passed, and like most clerks and most other offices, when acts are passed, nobody asks the office holders how this is going to affect you. Our latest one was Act 76, which is the Crime Victims Act, and it says if there's going to be a reduction of bond, you have to notify the crime victim. Well, you have to work together within your court offices to determine how you're going to do that. You have to be a team player. You have to have cooperation, and we have that. Some of the things that I'm most proud of is Beaver County Clerk of Courts was one of the first 19 counties in the whole state to be put on the statewide automation system. We were one of the first ones to get on board with the Pennsylvania State Pardon Project. We revamped our expungement process, and if you want to know about this, touch base with me afterwards. We got off of a vendor-operated system to do our scanning on the statewide, which is no cost to the county, just like our computer system is no cost to the county. And with that system, and I was telling Larry Nelson this, I was able to run a report yesterday to see how much work we've been doing, my staff, and I have an amazing staff, amazing. We documented over 96,000 documents. Were processed, recorded, filed, distributed to the individuals we have to give to last year. So far this year, we're over 83,000. So we're going to hit the 100,000 mark by the end of the year. But I just want to do kudos to my staff because, again, our staffs make us look good. So thank you very much again. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Judy. So we're going to wrap up the formal program here, and I just want to thank all the candidates, first of all, for your willingness to step forward and run for political office. It's not an easy thing to do in the current political environment, and so we thank you for stepping forward to want to serve Beaver County. Thank you for showing up today. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but we appreciate your flexibility. And also, you know, 3 minutes isn't a long time, and we had to accommodate all of you and allow people to get back to work, so we hope you understand that. Don't forget to vote on November 7th. Remember to ask your family members and friends to go vote. It's very important for all of us that we elect the best people that we can elect to serve Beaver County. We will continue with our event today. Please stick around and network until 1 o'clock or so. Feel free to ask any of the candidates any questions you want to ask. And with that, Donna Lee.
We have until 1:30.
Oh, 1:30, I'm sorry, thank you. I had the wrong, I had a stale schedule, I apologize, 1:30. And I also want to take a moment and thank Donna Lee, our chamber president, and Molly Sawyer for all the hard work. Please stick around and enjoy each other's company, and thank you all again. Have a great afternoon.
And that wraps up the candidates' luncheon presented by the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce. As we said, panel of about 20 incumbents and those who are challenging the incumbents. So you heard what they had to say. It was a short Q&A from the moderator, Harry Kunzelman, and the candidates had about 3 minutes to answer those questions, and they stayed close to those time limits. Now, coming up on November 3rd, Beaver County Radio is going to host the Commissioners' Debate, in which we have invited and they have accepted to come on and debate each other. That is November 3rd, and we will have Dan Camp, Jack Manning, Tony Amadeo, as well as Julian Taylor will be in our studio to answer those questions. Some ground covered today. I think for the most part, there are a lot of people in the audience who still aren't familiar with what the offices are, what the office holders do, what their staffs do. I think if there was one takeaway that many of them talked about today, especially from an incumbent's point of view, was that they were able to get email for their staffs, for whatever that's worth, for the listening audience. So what were the reasons prior to the last couple of years where the staffs did not have access to email, how it affected their jobs, whether positively or negatively, remains to be seen. Perhaps those are questions down the line as far as the campaigns are concerned. But in terms of public service, they all talked about wanting to serve the public, wanting to give the public an opportunity to have things done in Beaver County. And that is an individual decision for all of us to have to answer, and that is whether or not our needs are being met. It's a lot of times about taxes and whether or not our taxes are going to be raised, and we go into property tax and the property tax reassessment, which is a topic that didn't come up this time, but it was a very popular topic the last time around for elections to Beaver County government. So property tax assessments and people who are still in the process of appealing their property taxes is something that I think is first and foremost on Beaver County residents' minds. The housing industry in Beaver County, I saw a report just recently that said that it kind of leveled out a little bit, dropped down a little bit, but still the price of housing in Beaver County and everywhere is relatively high. Home prices are up. So is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? It appears to be still a seller's market. Taxes, insurance, the economy, blight. There are a lot of important issues in Beaver County facing Beaver County residents. Water, groundwater issues, pollution issues. Those, of course, are topics that didn't really get addressed. And understanding that the questions were already posed, they got a chance to answer already prepared questions, so it wasn't an opportunity for the viewing public, the voting public, to be able to ask of the candidates. You will have that opportunity through us, because we will put out a memo to our viewers and our listeners to submit questions that you would like to have the candidates answered. That's when the commissioners will be joining us as well. But there are a number of topics that need to be addressed in Beaver County, that are first and foremost on Beaver Countyans' minds. That has to do with our elderly population, the youth of our population, that whether or not it's going to be addressed down the road, and how those issues of quality of life affect people right here in Beaver County. So the audience is given an opportunity to talk one-on-one with the candidates, and that's what they are doing now. Many of those audience members are staff members or supporters of one candidate or another, so they're going to be talking with them as well. We do want to once again say thank you to the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce who sponsored this event today. We were happy to be asked to be the media sponsor and to be able to come out and present this to you live. If you missed any part of it, it's on our Facebook Live page, and will continue to be there as well, so that you can go back and reference some of the questions, answers, and the candidates, some of which you are not familiar with because this is their first time around. So I'm Mike Romai for Beaver County Radio. Curtis Walsh manning the audio and visual portion of this here with us today. Frank Sparks, the general manager. Eddie Crow, Matt Durzik back at the station operating it so that you can get the audio and the video portion of this so that you can understand and get a better idea of who you would vote for come the November election. Until that time, we're going to leave the Fez and remind you once again that if you'd like to hear the commissioners, the Beaver County commissioners, the candidates, including Julian Taylor, who's challenging, Judy Enslin, she won't be a part of that debate, but Dan Camp, Jack Manning, Tony Amadeo, and Julian Taylor will be there to answer our questions. So thank you so much for listening and watching, and continue to tune in to Beaver County Radio for the latest on events and issues happening in Beaver County. Have a good weekend.
Ready for a new vehicle? Then visit Moon Township Honda on University Boulevard in Moon Township. We have cars, trucks, and SUVs that will surely fit your needs and prices that will fit your budget. Moon Township Honda, where friends send friends.